In 10 terrifying minutes, the safety and sanctity of Bondi Beach were shattered. 2 gunmen, a father and his son, from their vantage point on a bridge, fired a barrage of bullets into a Jewish crowd gathered on Sunday for the start of Hanukkah. Their gunfire sent thousands running for their lives, the noise sending a wave of terror across the beach.
I have a colleague at work today who's sitting by her son's side in the intensive care. He was shot, he's having surgery tomorrow, and I don't know what to say, I don't know how to help her.
All day, people from the community of Bondi came to the beach pavilion to lay flowers, shed tears, and join in prayer for the lives taken by such an inhumane act of violence. Among the victims was 87-year-old Alexander Klaitman, a Holocaust survivor who died shielding his wife from the bullets. British-born Eli Schlanger was one of 2 rabbis killed. The father of 5 was nicknamed the Bondi Rabbi. The youngest victim to be named was 10-year-old Matilda, described by her aunt as like sunshine, a beautiful, sweet girl, always full of cuddles. Their lives are being mourned by an entire nation.
It's very sad, and it's not who we are as Australians, and I don't think it's representative of Australian society. I don't think it's representative. You can see around here, there's plenty of Jews, but there's heaps of other people too.
Parts of Bondi Beach have been sealed off as part of the police investigation. Some areas still strewn with belongings left behind in the panic to escape. It has been reported an ISIS flag was found in the car of the shooters. 24-year-old Navid Akram was previously investigated for links to the terrorist group, but was not deemed a threat. 6 guns registered to his father, 50-year-old Sajid Akram, were seized by police. How, in a country with supposedly strict gun laws, he was able to own such an arsenal has prompted a review of the restrictions on ownership.
A review of licences over a period of time. People's circumstances change. People can be radicalised over a period of time. Licences should not be in perpetuity.
Bondi was bereft of its summer crowds and its summer weather on Monday. A chilly wind and grey clouds had replaced the sunshine. This iconic beach, shivering and scarred by one of Australia's darkest days. Debbie Edward, ITV News, Sydney.
Well, here is what we know so far about how events unfolded yesterday. 6:47 on Sunday evening in Sydney, and police were called after the gunman opened fire from a footbridge at the northern end of Bondi Beach. They were firing towards a section of grass where the Hanukkah celebration was taking place. The police arrived 5 minutes after those first reports, and soon afterwards, hero Ahmed Al-Ahmed tackled and disarmed the older gunman, since identified as Sajid Akram. The 50-year-old retreated to the bridge where his son continued firing at the crowds. Both men continue the massacre until Akram is shot and killed. A minute and a half later, his son is also shot and is right now critically ill in hospital. Well, some of those caught up in the terror attack and members of the emergency services who rushed to the scene have told ITV News about yesterday's terrible events. Witnesses described bullets flying above their heads and the horror of being separated from their loved ones, fearing the worst. They spoke to our reporter Helen Keenan, who is in Sydney.
It should have been a festival of light. Instead, they are among the thousands reeling from one of Australia's darkest days. Laura has family in the hospital after they were shot in the attack at a Hanukkah celebration at Bondi Beach.
I called Ilona and she said to me, I'm sitting here with your brother. His sister-in-law was shot twice, apparently, in the shoulder. Last I heard an hour or so ago, she's conscious or in and out of consciousness, and she's okay. She's really one of the lucky ones.
I obviously had blood on my bag and my dress. It wasn't my blood. I could see my mother is kneeling and kind of on the ground. I can't see my son. I was screaming to my mom. Now my mom says she even didn't hear me, but I was hysterically screaming.
David was one of the first responders to help the victims. 3 of his friends were killed.
To hear gunshots, terrorists and Bondi Beach all in the same topic is something that is unheard of. Makes the community quite scared to think we had Holocaust survivors coming here in the 40s to be safe. This was the safe haven for them to come to, and to look at the turn of events, a Holocaust survivor passing away and being shot and killed last night.
Abdullah claims he isn't a hero, despite sacrificing his own safety to save others.
I wouldn't say I ran towards danger. I just saw the cop who was already shot and a couple of other people that were lying there. And in my head, I was just thinking, if you end up saving or even trying to save a couple of lives, and if you lose yours in the process, it's a fair bargain.
What happened has been described by the country's Prime Minister as an act of pure evil. Sydney has been shaken by this, but what was intended to divide this community has only united them. Helen Keenan, ITV News, Sydney.
Well, amid the horror of the attack, one hero managed to wrestle a weapon from one of the gunmen. Video captured the dramatic moment when Ahmed Al-Ahmed, a local fruit store owner, risked his life and jumped into action. The father of 2 was shot but is recovering in hospital. His bravery saved many lives and he was praised by the Premier of New South Wales and also by President Donald Trump. Our correspondent John Ray reports.
Bodies lie in the streets and sirens wail. But then, amid the chaos, a moment of astonishing clarity. A struggle between good and evil, and the triumph of the best of humanity over the bleakest vision. The man in the white shirt shows mercy when the killer in his sights showed none. He puts down the gun and signals his innocence. But Ahmed Al-Ahmed then pays a high price for his heroics. 4 or 5 bullets in his left arm and shoulder. His bravery saluted around the world.
A man tackling and disarming one of the shooters.
Ahmed Al-Ahmed.
He's a shopkeeper, originally from Syria.
Take a look at the man, the hero.
Who stepped in to stop murder.
And Ahmed Al-Ahmed.
A Muslim who saved Jews from apparent Islamist terror.
Yes, somebody got it.
A hero to all, especially his parents, who've only just joined him in Australia and now sit at his hospital bedside.
ابني هيك منه عنده هيك شجاع يعني يساعد الناس بيحب هيك ولقاهم عم بيموتوا قتل عم تروح ارواح وقام اجى خلصوا البارودي واخذها منه وقام يتأجل.
Ahmed has told his family that God gave him courage, that instinct led him to act.
لما شاف الناس بالأرض ملقحة والدم والدماء والبشر مباشرة ضميره ووجدانه دفعوا أنه ينقض على.
The Premier of New South Wales told Ahmed he had saved countless lives. But more than that, one man has become a symbol of hope for our shared humanity. John Ray, ITV News.
Well, let's return to Debbie Edward on Bondi Beach. Debbie, the Australian government is coming in for strong criticism, isn't it, following this massacre?
Many of those we've been speaking to at this vigil have said that they are shocked, they are saddened, they are grieving, but many also told us that they are not surprised that this happened. The head of the Jewish Association in Australia went as far as to say this was foreseeable following a spate of anti-Semitic offences in Australia following October the 7th. The Australian authorities have rejected those criticisms and said that now is a time for unity. But police here are also having to go back over their records of 24-year-old
Navid Akram, he is one of the 2 men accused of carrying out this terror attack. His father was shot by police, but Navid Akram is under police guard in hospital recovering from gunshot wounds. And it turns out he was known to the Australian security services. He had been investigated for links to ISIS. Mary, how many times have we been here after a terror attack like this around the world when it transpires afterwards that one of the suspects was known to police? Detectives here say there was no sign that this father and son were planning this level of attack. They were motivated by extremist ideology. But what is going to be front and foremost of most people's minds here, Mary, as they're waking up this morning, is those families that have lost loved ones and those still fighting for their life in hospital.
Debbie Edward on Bondi Beach in Sydney. Thank you. Well, here, police say they are increasing their visibility in response to the attacks in Australia. The Prime Minister said its impact is being felt across the globe, with Jewish communities in the UK feeling more insecure as a result. He pledged to use all the government's powers to keep them safe. It comes just 2 months after the Heaton Park synagogue attack during another Jewish holiday. Here's our North of England reporter, Amy Welch.
It is a festival of light which is now overshadowed by darkness. And from Bondi Beach to Bury in Greater Manchester, the fear felt by much of the Jewish community is the same.
It's not only in Greater Manchester that there is the fear, it's across the UK, it's across Europe, it's across the world.
Horrified, but not surprised, because the fact that we have to have, and this has gone on for years, security, a special security company in our synagogues, our daycare centres, and most important in our schools, 24 hours 7. This has been going on for years.
Arsen Ostrovsky survived yesterday's atrocity and spoke to news reporters at the scene.
All of a sudden it's absolute chaos. There's guns, fire everywhere, people ducking. It was absolute chaos. We didn't know what was happening.
His friend Rafi Bloom showed me messages they exchanged just months after witnessing a similar attack on his own Manchester synagogue.
I messaged him yesterday to say that I heard the news that he was injured. Hope he's okay. Secondly, I can't believe I'm sending you this, considering what you messaged me 8 weeks ago. Our communication had been around people seeking to murder Jews simply for being Jewish.
2 worshippers died in Manchester, and after this latest shooting in Sydney, police patrols have been stepped up.
I want to reassure our Jewish communities here in the United Kingdom that we will take every step that we can, use all of our powers to make sure they're safe and secure as they should be.
You already have CCTV. Is that the answer?
Well, it cannot be the case that we are seeking to merely build higher walls.
But Jewish leaders say for too long their community has lived behind guards and gates.
How do we tackle the root cause of anti-Semitism?
We need to try and ensure that this awful, tragic conflict that is taking place on the other side of the world is not imported onto the streets of Greater Manchester or Sydney or anywhere else. We have to be bold and we have to be brave, and we have to keep on inhabiting public spaces, because the alternative is too frightening to even comprehend.
And while the festivities of Hanukkah continue, for some, the hope of ever feeling truly safe is starting to fade. Amy Welch, ITV News, Manchester.